Have you ever asked yourself why you seem to pick the wrong partner to fall in love with, the wrong person to date, and you find that often you get your heart broken?
Now, if you're absolutely losing hope of ever finding that perfect partner, this could be why.
Just consider, if you don't like who you are and you don't think that you're good enough, then you're likely to pick someone who also isn't good enough too.
Yeah, very, very true. And if you've got low self-esteem or low self-worth, then that could actually lead to you appearing to be quite needy. And particularly maybe if that's low self-worth has come maybe because you don't feel like you've had enough love and affection growing up, then you're going to crave that even more. So that could either turn somebody off and they could think, no, this is just too intense and too big a commitment for me. Or the other thing that can do is that if you appear needy, then what you're kind of doing is putting that partner up on a pedestal. Now, that can make them feel like they've got a position of power. So, two things that can happen there. Number one, they can stop trying, because why should they try? Because you're already compensating for that relationship, so they don't feel that they need to make the effort with you. Or if they are somebody themselves who's got low self-esteem, this could actually lead to them becoming a bully or abusive, because they know that you need them so they can get away with it.
Also consider, who was your role model for relationships? For example, for me, my parents were married for 56 years. I forgot them for a second. 56 years they were married. And therefore, what they taught me from observing them was the fact that relationships, once you get together, you stay together. You put the effort in, basically. So if you've not got a good role model for that, let's say, for example, that your parents divorced when you were at a young age, or actually you saw your parents arguing a lot, then it's easy for you to follow that role model, and therefore, which is why your relationships aren't working.
Yeah.
However, even though that was a model that you followed, once you realise that that's the problem, then you can change it.
Yeah, the other thing I guess with parents is that if they've not shown you enough love, or let's say for example that you may have had a sibling that was quite a strong person and that spoke down to you, or your parent was quite bossy and quite manipulative. I mean, these are just examples, but if that ever happened to you, then you potentially could be more likely to accept that from a partner. But like Nick said, the first thing to do is to identify what it is and what kind of person you're seeking to be able to find why that's been happening.
And that's so first step really, sit down, right, and consider your perfect partner, right? Just make a list. What would your partner, what would they look like? What would they do for a living? What would the hobbies be? Even, what sort of foods do they like? Do they like Indian food? Do they like Chinese food? Do they like American food? Whatever it is, just what's important to you. What traits would they have? And once you've got this list, and again, it doesn't matter how many things you write down. Once you've got this list, then narrow it down and pick out the top 10. And those are the things that you'll be looking for.
Yeah. It helps you to look though, doesn't it? Because if you know what you're looking for, then you're more likely to see it. And I guess...
I've not finished yet.
Yeah, but you could talk about things, couldn't you?
Yeah, of course you could. But then once you've got this list, then I think it's important to look at yourself, because ultimately you've been making these mistakes by dating the wrong people. So if you then look at yourself and say, right, this is my perfect partner, so what would I have to change about myself, not only to find that person, but actually to keep them, right? And then do a list of things that you'd like to change about yourself. And when you then work between these two lists, you should find someone like I did with you, Eva. 29 years together.
He's a smooth talker. But the other thing is that, if you've got low self-esteem, if you've got low self-worth, then you're less likely to find the person that you truly deserve.
Sure.
What we know is that you absolutely deserve to be loved. You absolutely deserve to be in a loving relationship where you're respected and showered with appreciation and kindness. And if that's
Again,
not happening...
just like you.
Yeah, just like me. I'm so lucky.
I know.
And if that's
Me
not
too.
happening to you, then it could be that you've got low self-worth or low self-esteem. So that's something that you're going to have to work on. Now, we do have films about that here on our YouTube channel, so do take a look around and do subscribe, because there, like we said, there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't find and why you don't deserve to be loved unconditionally.
That's right, because there's a statement about being lucky in love. You don't have to be lucky in love, you've just got a plan.